Europeans, what do you envy Americans for? Your national parks, the sheer scale of them and how accessible they are. I'd love to be able to camp in one of our forests, but you are not permitted to anywhere near where I live. On the 256 million acres of public domain managed by the Bureau of Land Management, you can throw out a tent and stay put for up to 14 days on the vast majority of it if you so choose. Not European but Australian, just wanted to chime in and say I am extremely jealous that you have the ability to just up and move to wildly different cities and new job opportunity. WW have only 5 real cities in Aus and all of them practically the same. Already lived and worked in 3. I've wanted to pack my stuff and just leave so many times, but where do I go? Fricking Darwin, we have nothing here. There's always America and you can bring Michelle Jenick if you want. Actually just send her, you can stay in upside down land. How much empty space you have outside of the metropolitan regions. I'm from Switzerland and the next village is 5 minutes away by car. The villages aren't really distinct from each other either. It's just flats, then single family houses, then farms, more farms, single family houses again, flats again. When I went to the US for a road trip, we would drive for a day and see nothing but trees, and that was on the rather populated East Coast. I'd love to see the Midwest or the West where it's even more empty. I'm from Midwest. After you get past the trees there is corn, maybe a few cows. Access to crap. Hobby items, materials especially. Stuff that is easily available in the US sometimes requires tracking down that one specialty store in Bumfuch, Germany, that then only takes bank transfers as payment. I'm adding Bumfuch to my vocabulary. If you are an American citizen, you can choose to live in just about any climate and landscape that the earth has to offer, and still be in the same country. Whether you like mountains, volcanoes, the beach, the desert, the Arctic, the prairie, the rainforest, whatever, the US has it. This is seriously the coolest thing. The fricking BBQ. Thank the cosmos I live there and travel a lot. States seem to have their own twists and specialities and it's all so fricking good I can't decide what I like more. The Texas barbecue pit I went to once was an experience. Before I came here, barbecue meant store-bought frozen burgers and sausages on a grill in the garden during summer. One thing I don't miss about the UK, lol. Barbecue meant store-bought frozen burgers and sausages on a grill in the garden during summer. That's just sad. This might be influenced by TV shows and internet posts, but it seems that you guys have a huge freedom in altering and customizing vehicles. Over there you can just grab an old car or bike, which you all seem to have, and just fix it up and modify it as much as you want. From where I am from, the rules are really strict, so everything is stock, and I envy that diversity and leeway to customize. For the most part we can customize what we want, but some states won't allow certain modifications because of emissions. Looking at you, my home state of California. Apparently you guys get haunted house experiences. Like an entire big butt house dedicated to being a horror experience. Those sound crazy fun. It's usually not an actual house, though there are historical haunted house tours and whatnot, but most of the time it's way bigger than that. Usually it's a labyrinthine path that leads through a variety of areas. It could be clowns in one room that jump out at you, a bunch of creepy doll girls in the next, followed by a pathway made entirely out of mirrors. Good times. You get all the new shiny Google products and services first. Damn it Google, we want to give you our money too. For fuck's sake. Google Fiber especially. The disgustingly large amount of funding made available for scientific research at so many universities. I'm a PhD student. But all you ever hear about is how we're a bunch of science-denying morons. Goddamn space. This is only based on movies, TV and 3-hour-long Google Map procrastination sessions, but each house is set back like 15-20 meters from the road. The USA has land with a house on it, space for cars, a workshop and 4 kids to run around, opposed to the UK, where standard suburban houses have at most a small 5x5 meter patch at the front and back. I genuinely hate how cramped the UK is. Most houses are joined at the side in terraces, or there's maybe a 3-foot gap separating semi-detached houses. Front doors are often at the edge of the pavement. so cars stack up on most roads. Then 90% of country roads are dangerously narrow for no obvious reason, causing cars to emergency brake when another comes around the corner towards them. I would move to the US in heartbeat, but I need to pass exams to work there. I'm going for Australia as an alternative. Fun fact, the US only has about 6 times as many people as the UK. Those juice machines at fast food restaurants with like 99 different choices and free refills. I was in the States last year and the first time I came across one I nearly lost my crap. I find it cute that you call it juice. Your roads are built for your cars. When I am driving here sometimes in the streets I am not much familiar with, I have to literally pray to God that they are one-way streets because they are so narrow. I feel only one car can pass. But apparently it's a two-way almost always, and add a biker going in the same direction as me, so I have to try not to kill him, and figure out how not to die of heart attack when a car from opposite direction is going my way, like frickin' man. Check out Boston streets, we didn't have it right from the start. Probably having the opportunity to order virtually anything online, none of the unavailable for international shipping crap. I mean the possibilities. Also, you can virtually pick up any hobby, find lots of places to buy things, find an online group of people with the same hobby, and even have the possibility to practice it. Try having any hobby in Europe. Pretty screwed, I would say. American pickup trucks. You can get them here in Australia, but they generally cost about twice the price they are in the US. You have to import them privately and pay a company about $40k to convert them to right-hand drive, because none of the American manufacturers build them that way. But there is nothing else that can compare to an American truck, at least in terms of comfort, power, and towing ability. I'm a Canadian living in Europe, so I guess I count, but flaming hot Cheetos, you guys don't understand how blessed you are to have those red pieces of delight. Our snack exchange. Being raised in a society that encourages confidence and outspokenness, I'm a smart dude with a lot to say, but I'm too freaking British to say it. Knowing when to keep your mouth shut is a virtue I wish more of us embraced actually. Your early adopter mentality. If there is a new invention, technology, trend, etc., I feel like there isn't much that stops you from using it. Silicon Valley being very powerful and influential is the reason, I guess. But people are pretty carefree and open to trying out new services, products as well. I don't know. I recall that texting caught on in Europe when I was in late high school, very early college, 2004-ish. It was another year or two before everyone I knew was texting. So many things about the UK bother me hugely, and loads of them have been said, so I'll go with one that hasn't. How important class is in our society, and the way we define class. We Americans fixed that problem by having no class. Your friendliness. That's one of the most striking things for family members when I take them to America. How people are just naturally friendly almost all the time. Depends on where you live. In NJ and NY, people seem to prefer to mind their own business. In Massachusetts, though, or probably anywhere in the South and Midwest, you're gonna have a good time. Road trips. Maybe it's just from films, but it seems like you can drive for days with some friends in America and go on an adventure. If I drove for days without stopping, except to sleep, like they seem to do in American road trips, I definitely end up in Czechoslovakia. I can't speak Czech. Czechoslovakia, but on the bright side, you'd be driving a time machine. A bit more adventurous positive attitude. Over here we will first dive into criticism before enthusiasm. At least, that's my experience and something I also often find myself doing. You need to visit NYC then. It's a different world there. Jerky. You have so many varieties there. I love jerky, but while we can buy it in the UK, we only have a few types to choose from. Dude, you can just make your own and season it how you like. You don't need a dehydrator. I know someone that does it in their oven. I'm sure you can find a guide. The country itself. Landscapes and diversity. From desert to high mountains to tropics in the same country. It's wilderness. Patriotism sometimes too. I am sitting here with a friend that grew up and was raised in Sweden. He says that he loves the diversity of thought in America compared to Sweden. This one kind of makes me sad. It would be so boring if there were only people who thought the same as me. The parts of your country with year-round summers. I really suicidally hate winters and they are freaking long where I live. Then I hear some Americans say frick me, it's cold this winter. Yesterday was like only plus 18 Celsius. I had to get my winter jacket out. Frick you. Plus 18 Celsius around here is so relatively hot I'd strut my crap all the way to work in a fricking mini thong. 18 Celsius is roughly 65 Fahrenheit in freedom units. As a US citizen, this comment will never be seen, but boy am I grateful for everyone who posted here and reminded me how many good things we have. It's nice to see comments about America that aren't talking crap about us. Cheap fast food. I see so many YouTube videos of people loading up on Filet-O-Fish and quarter pounders etc off the dollar menu. The fricking dollar menu. Over here a burger in McDonald's by itself is £3.49. 2 double cheeseburger, 1 McChicken, 1 medium fries equals $7.41. Not that I order it that often, mind you. Cheap house prices, cheap gas, cheap V8s. Being able to drive to Mexico. I would also like to have the national pride of being the first country to send a man to the moon. National pride of being the first country to send a man to the moon. Only, sorry, couldn't resist. Hopefully that changes at some point. Your steel industry. I have to try so hard to find any tool steel or even just normal stock down in the south of England. As a resident of the Rust Belt, I laugh at you and cry a little. I'm from UK and have traveled the states quite substantially. Only thing I guess I envy is the diversity of the country, mainly when it comes to landscape. That's one of my favorite things too. You can visit volcanoes, mountains, deserts, rainforests, coastlines, caves and countless other places that defy classification. Yellowstone, Arches, Sequoia, Devil's Tower, Grand Canyon, Crater Lake, Monument Valley, etc., 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 without even leaving the country. My so doesn't have a Reddit account, but she would say Reese's. When she came to the US, she bought 3 or 4 massive bags to take home. Anytime I visit there, I can't show up without a few bags. I don't know how that woman stays so thin. I live in Denmark, so taxes are freaking almost 50%. If I lived in America, I would at least get to have the little money I earn for myself, and not pay half of it to the government so they can finance stupid crap like ugly butt art installations or new horribly modern apartment buildings that only rich people can afford. And I'm pretty sure there are no rich people in Denmark. You don't put people in prison for being offensive. Yeah, the Westboro Baptist Church are abhorrent, but you let people decide if they want to listen to them or not. I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say Evelyn Beatrice Hall. She was English sums it up. Lifts, elevators. They're so fast in America. In the UK we have to wait about 5 minutes for it even to reach your floor to get on. The broad portfolio of landscapes. The desert of the Death Valley, the wonderful forests of Alaska and the beaches of Miami, and all that in one nation. Oh, and you've got the buildings from Frank Lloyd Wright. Gaming equipment price. In Turkey, where I live, you have to pay 2,000 liras, about $560. For a crap graphics card we mostly use AMD here. For a nice PC you have to pay nearly 20,000 liras for your, about $6k dollar sign. We mostly use budget PC over here, so we game on low settings. A freaking note, a Titan X is 6x the low wage. Cause, tax. Even 3 clicks. Philip had a moment of silence for us. I envy the confidence I see in Americans, the smiling. Realize not everyone is like this, but loads of British women are miserable. I'm American, but I have a friend from UK and he always tells me he envies that here in America people are more friendly and open, like you would just talk to stranger like you have known said person. It's odd to me to imagine that you just couldn't do that in other countries. I've met many great PPL by just like happening to be in line next to them, and we just start talking and become friends. This thread was so needed for me. It has been hard lately to be proud to be an American, but aside from our government situation at the moment, I do love this country. Thanks for asking this question and thanks to all who have answered. American hype around sports is so amazing. The mascots and TV commercials and sheer amount of money thrown at the aspects of the sports that aren't directed towards winning games. I love how in Europe sport is a religion, but I am so envious of how in America the whole event is pure entertainment. It's awesome. College football games are an incredible experience. The entire world is speaking your language. All the major brands and the inventions of modern era are named in English and were derived by my native language and all the others in their original writing. How does that thing affect your view of the world? P.S. Sorry, the UK and the Commonwealth. It's your language as well, but it works with Americans too. TBF. If it wasn't for the British conquering the world over the 19th century, this probably wouldn't be the case today. You have so much space. A double garage containing 2 cars, a bike, some storage and a workbench. Forget that here. I'm lucky that even half of my car fits into my garage. And my workbench literally is the small grass patch behind my house. Wendy's. Ich freaking loved the food they are serving. Like that spicy chicken burger. Where I'm from we only have stuff like Burger King, McDonald's, KFC. Really miss it. Wendy's sets the bar on chicken sandwiches, rivals, or surpasses most sit-in restaurants. The gyms you guys have at universities and even friggin' high schools. These places are fancier, bigger and better equipped than where Europe's elite athletes train. And yet we're still all fat. Your national parks for sure. Don't get me wrong. Europe has gorgeous and protected areas too, but despite your current administration's best efforts to destroy it, American culture appears to have a special appreciation of and reverence towards the beauty of nature. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.